So what is happening here? So I am finding the probability of one of the partition, say AI, then probability of AI when B has already occurred is equal to probability of AI into probability of B when AI is occurred. Okay, remember that there is a difference. I'm finding out the probability of AI when B has occurred, which is equal to probability of AI into probability of B when AI is occurred upon summation this term. It will be very much better if we take this A1, A2, A3, a particular case, then look at this. This is the partition. This is the partition. B is an event other than this, and I want the probability of A1 say. Probability of A1 when B is occurred by the Bayes theorem, this is actually equal to probability of A1 into probability of B when A1 has occurred upon summation. J is running from 1 to n. P of Ej into P of B when Ej is occurred. So what this will be equal to? P of A1, P of B when A1 is occurred on P of A1 probability of B when A1 is occurred plus probability of A2 into probability of B when A2 is occurred plus probability of A3 into probability of B when A3 is occurred. What is conditional probability? Let's just talk about the conditional probability first of all. A conditional probability, what you do is probability of A intersection B when upon probability of A intersection B upon probability of B. I mean, whatever has occurred, that thing you take. So what you're doing is, in this case, this total denominator, what it is calculating, this part, this part, this, 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 this. Right, this is your denominator. You can see that probability of A1 into probability of B when A1 is occurred. What this is going to be? By multiplication theorem, what this will be? Can you tell me what is probability of B when A1 is occurred? Is equal to probability of B intersection A1 upon probability of A1, right? So what you are doing, you are taking the probability of B intersection A1 is equal to probability of B condition A1 into probability of A1. Are you getting my point? This is nothing but probability of B intersection A1. This is the probability of B intersection A2. This is the probability of B intersection A3. That is the denominator. What is the numerator? What is the numerator? Probability of
B intersection A1.
B intersection A1. So, do you feel that this is obvious?
Yes.
So, numerator is actually the probability of B intersection A1, and what is the denominator? Probabilities of B intersection each and every partition. That is nothing but the Bayes theorem. I hope this is very much clear now. I'll quickly go for some examples. If you have any doubt, you can ask in this.
Sir, can you tell the denominator once again? I couldn't hear you.
What is this, the first one? Probability of
A1
B intersection
B2.
A1 plus
Yes.
what is this?
Probability of B intersection A2. Okay.
B intersection A2, and this is nothing but probability of B intersection A3. So Bayes' theorem, when I want to find the probability of one of the partition when the event B has occurred, is actually in the numerator you take the probability of both the events, I mean the intersection, and in the denominator what you're doing is you're taking the probabilities of the intersection of the occurred event with each and every partition. That is nothing but the denominator. But anyways, if you feel this very much complicated, you directly remember the theorem. It will be better. Example. Bag 1 contains contains 6 blue balls. Bag 2 contains 4 red balls. Oh, sorry. Bag 1 contains 6 blue and 4 red. Six blue and 4 red. Bag B, the second bag contains 2 blue, contains 2 blue and 6 red balls. And bag 3 contains 1 blue and 8 red. 1 blue and 8 red balls. Question number 1 is, a bag is chosen at random. A bag is chosen at a random. A ball is drawn. A ball is drawn randomly. It turns out to be blue. It turns out to be blue. Find the probability. Find the probability that bag 1 is chosen. And the second one, a bag is chosen at random. A bag is chosen at random. Two balls are drawn. Two balls are drawn. Without replacement. What do you mean by without replacement? Do you put the ball back in the bag or not?
No, sir.
Find the probability. Find the probability that bag 2 is chosen. Yes. What is the partition? First of all, understand that. What is the partition? Now look at the question. What is the question? A bag is chosen at random. The ball is drawn randomly. It turns out to be blue. Find the probability that bag 1 is chosen. According to Bayes' theorem, whose probability do you find? You find the probability of partition or the event.
Partition.
So you are finding out the probability of partition. You need to find the probability that bag 1 is chosen, which means the first partition is chosen. So what I should define the partition? The bag. First partition is bag 1 is chosen. A2 is the event that bag 2 is chosen. A3 is the event that bag 3 is chosen. Now, which event has occurred? In the first question, it turns out that the ball is blue. What event I should define? The event should be
A blue ball is chosen.
blue ball is drawn. Blue ball is drawn. Now using Bayes' theorem. But first of all, let's just look at in the Bayes' theorem what we need. We need the probability of each and every partition, right? So you need P of A1, you need P of A2, you will need P of A3. Also, later we will have to find probability of A1 is occurred, right? So for that purpose, we'll find out the probability of A1, A2, and A3. So what is the probability of A1?
1/3.
Is 1 by
1/3.
why it is 1 by 3? There are 3 events, right? Only 3 bags are there. A1, probability of A2, and probability of A3. Now, using Bayes' theorem, what we need to find? Probability of, read the question once again. If you don't read the question properly, you will not be able to answer.
Probability of A1 when B is occurred.
Probability of
Event,
A1
When B has
when
occurred.
B is occurred. Our B event is blue ball is drawn. So by Bayes' theorem, this is equal to probability of what I said in the numerator, intersection of both of them by multiplication theorem. This will be probability of A1 into probability of B when A is occurred, A1 is occurred, upon what I said, denominator is the summation of all the intersections. So that will be probability of A1 into probability of B condition A1 plus probability of A2, probability of B condition A2 plus probability of A3, probability of B condition A3. Look, it is very much easier to remember in the form of intersection. If you go on memorizing it, then it will be difficult for you. So let's look at the probabilities. We'll need this probability of B when A1 is occurred. We'll need the probability of B when A2 is occurred, and so on. The first one, probability of B when A1 is occurred. Yes, anyone?
P/5.
What you said?
Once 6/10. So 3/5.
6/10, so 3/5, exactly right. So 3/5. Probability of B when A2 is occurred. Now you wait, Manas. Let someone else try this. Anyone else?
2/8.
2/8, exactly. Probability of B when A3 is occurred.
1/9.
1/9. If anyone having problem in these probabilities, you can really ask. So we have all the information. Let's just find the probability now. Probability of A1 when B is occurred is equal to probability of A1 is 1/3. Probability of B when A1 is occurred 3/5 upon 1/3 3/5 plus 1/3 2/8 plus 1/3 into 1/9. Tell me the final answer.
0.624.
0.624. What about the second question? A bag is chosen at random. Two balls are drawn. Now there is not one ball, then two balls are drawn without a replacement. So once you draw the first ball, the ball is not put back in the bag. Find the probability that bag 2 is chosen. Should we define another event? We'll define the event C as both the balls are blue. So second one, C, both balls are blue. What we need to find? Probability of which bag? Second bag.
When B has occurred.
Probability of E2
When
when
B has occurred.
B or C?
C has.
Probability of E2 when C has occurred. By Bayes theorem, this is equal to probability of E2 into probability of C when E2 is occurred upon I'll write down the summation probability of A2 into probability of C when A1 is occurred, A1, sorry, plus probability of A2 into probability of C when A2 is occurred, plus probability of A3 into probability of C when A3 is occurred. Put the values, tell me the final answer. You will need probability of C, A1 is occurred, probability of C when A2 is occurred, probability of C when E3 is occurred. What are the probabilities? Okay, since it is
So for the last bag, there's only one ball, blue ball.
yes, probability will be 0. Na? There is no way you can choose two balls. So probability of C when A1 is occurred, first of all, just think of this.
1/3.
Why it is 1/3?
For
So
first, the probability will be 6/10, and for second ball, it will be 5/9.
yes, for the first one, 6/10. So what you're doing is you're choosing two balls out of 10 balls. So 6C2 upon 10C2. So the answer for this is, as you said, it is 1/.
3.
Probability of C when A2 is occurred. In the second bag, what we can see, there are only two blue balls and six red balls. So 2C2 upon 8C2. Total balls are 8. So this is
1/28.
1/20. Okay. I'm considering that the calculations are right. C probability of C when A3 is occurred is 0 because in the third event there is just one blue ball and there is no probability that you will get two blue balls from the third bag. So let's put the values and A2 when C is occurred. The answer is tell me the final answer by the time I'll write on the next question. No one, you just have to do the calculation.
0.096.
0.096.
967.
Okay. Second.
So, in the previous question,
Yes.
in the first case, second case, they said that
Yes.
two balls are drawn without replacement.
Yes.
So the statement without replacement states that they first took out one ball and then a second ball, or
Yes.
both. So then the probability of getting two blue balls would be different than what we calculated, right? Because 6 into gives two balls chosen at once. But
Huh.
if they said that without replacement, one after the other, then the probability would be 6 and then 5. So that's 30 ways of selecting two balls.
Then we'll consider with replacement. Just better for us in this case then.
Okay. So that's all, because the answer changes that way.
Yes, yes, you're exactly right. Yes. The question is, an explosion in a factory manufacturing explosives can occur due to four causes. So those are either it is by short circuit, defect in some machinery, negligence by the workers, or sabotage. Now, probabilities of these four causes are 0.3, 0.2, 0.4, and 0.1. So engineer feels that an explosion can occur with the probability 0.3 if there is a short circuit. So 0.2 if there is a defect in machinery, 0.25 if workers are negligent, and 0.8 if there is a sabotage. Given that the explosion has occurred, determine the most likely cause of it. Okay, so first of all, let's just define the events. What are the events? What is the event A1? Remember that whenever you are using Bayes theorem, first of all, define the partitions. Okay, so our
These four
experiment
cases.
experiment is of having an explosion, right? So the explosion will give the partition as the first one, short circuit. E2 is negligence, also defect in machinery. E3 is negligence. The fourth one. What is the probability of the event A1?
So 0.3.
0.3. Probability of A2, 0.2. Probability of A3,
0.25.
0.4. 5.25. A4 is 0.1. Now, what is your event B? In Bayes theorem, what you do is you look at the probability of sum of the one of the partition when event B is occurred.
Sir, explosion has occurred already.
Explosion has occurred. Exactly. So B be an event that there is an explosion. Now, once there is an explosion, we will find out the probability of the explosion when there is a short circuit. What it is?
0.3,
0.3.
0.2, 0.4, and 0.1.
Probability of B when there is defect in machinery by engineers. I mean, engineers feel that it is 0.2. B when E3 is occurred is 0.25, and probability of B when A4 is occurred. Now, all the given things we have sorted. Now the question is, determine most likely cause of it. What we will do?
Sir, the one which gives the magnitude which is the greatest out of all of them,
Ah,
with a non-zero
which,
denominator.
what all of them? Which all of them?
P A1 or A2 when B has occurred. Then if we apply the Bayes theorem, then
P of,
A1 then when B is already occurred.
yes, exactly. So we'll find out probability of A1 when B is occurred. So probability of having an short circuit when there is an explosion, we will find out this. We'll also find out probability of defect in machinery when there is an explosion. we will find out probability of negligence when there is an explosion. We'll find out the probability of sabotage when there is a explosion. We will find out all of them. And say for an example, you get the probability of uh, having a defect in machinery when the explosion occurs, that is the highest, then I will declare that the reason of the explosion is this. Okay, so I'll just write down the statement instead of writing this all four of them. So from Bayes theorem, so I'll consider the general one. P of AI when B is occurred. By Bayes theorem, the formula is probability of AI into probability of B when AI is occurred upon the summation. Summation, I said that, remember, in terms of intersection, that will be better. Probability of A1 into probability of B when A1 is occurred plus probability of A2 into probability of B when A2 is occurred plus probability of A3 into probability of B when A3 is occurred. Once we have all this, we have all the data. The first one, probability of A1 when B is occurred, what is the answer?
0.09. Sorry,
0.
if you multiply, yes, sir. If you multiply them, then we will get it.
Yes, of course, we will have to multiply.
Yes, sir.
Answer is 0.409.
Probability of
0.04.
A2 when B is occurred is
0.04.
0.04.
Then
Probability
1.
of A,
Then 0.1. Then 0.08.
there is this last one also, probability of A4.
So, third one will be the highest probability.
Probability of A4
0.08.
when B is occurred is 0.08. So probability of are you sure it is this 0.09?
But sir, these are not the answers.
These are
No, sir. Probability
He's
of
telling the
A1.
numerators.
This is probability of A1 into probability of A1 when B is occurred. It is this.
Yes. So the first probability is 0.409.
Probability
0.29.
of A1
Sir,
into
what I said,
probability.
probability of A1 times probability of B when A1 is occurred, and just like that.
Yes. Maybe I did wrong. Probability of A4 into this. So once we have this, our denominator is common. What is the denominator? Summation P of AI into probability of B condition I is running from 1 to 4. Summation is common for all of them, and it is just have to multiply these two things. 0.3 into 0.3 plus 0.2 into 0.2
0.31.
0.31.
31.
So probability of A1 when B is occurred is equal to this probability of A1 into probability of B when A1 is occurred. So that is 0.09 divided by the summation 0.31. The answer is
0.290.
0.290. The other one 0.04 divided by 0.31 is
1290.
0.129. E3 when B is occurred, yes,
0.322.
0.3226. Probability of E4 when B is occurred, yes,
0.25.
2580.
80. So what is the reason of the explosion?
Sorry, A3
Negligence.
Negligence.
Negligence of workers.
Negligence of workers is the reason for explosion. As the probability of A3 when B is occurred is highest. Fine. So that's all about the Bayes theorem. As I said, our basic part of the probability is over. So now what we will be doing is we will study different distributions. I hope you remember that we saw different approaches for the probability. The first was the basic approach where you have the total number of outcomes upon, favorable outcomes upon total number of outcomes. The problem with that was each sample point has equal probability, but in many of the cases it occurs that each sample point may not have equal probability. So there were different approaches to the probability. So the next approach was the axiomatic approach, and I said that this is the modern approach to the probability. So in the next lecture, what we'll see is we'll look at the discrete probability distribution, what is discrete, what is continuous probability distribution, and then we will look at different distributions. That's all for today. Thank you, everyone.